Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AFLW season for 2026. The Scoops AFLW show has returned for season 2026. And how excited am I to provide you all the AFLW content for 2026? Matchday vlogs, Scoops AFLW medal, my Scoops AFL All-Australian team, AFLW All-Australian team, everything. I provide all the news, the exclusives, the opinions. You'll get it all here on the Scoops AFLW show each and every week in the AFLW season. The trade period will be discussed. The draft will be discussed. The AFLW Ireland match from the weekend will be discussed. Everything will be discussed on this channel. I have regular team of the weeks. I'll be doing my Scoops AFLW Fantasy League code reveal, all the awards, my season predictions, ladder predictions, everything in between on this show and each and every week. I am the channel to go to when you need all the AFLW news. Anything at all, this show will cover it. If not, feel free to message me on Instagram, AFL Info Live, and under Scoops, and we'll go from there. Any AFLW players you want to see on the channel in a Gold King Challenge and or interview, please send me a message and we'll get something sorted. If you're an AFLW player and you're watching this, good luck this season, and would love to have you all on the podcast. Please send me a message on Insta. And yeah, we can get it sorted. Would love to have you all on. So some segments that will be on this week will be different to future weeks because obviously there's no team of the week to mention. My Scoops AFLW medal will be mentioned in its own, and I stress its own, video. There'll be no votes mentioned each and every week. It'll be discussed at the end of the year, like the big extravaganza show, the Scoops AFLW medal. Now, before I get into everything, what a great concept the AFLW Australia v Ireland concept in Sydney was. It was a great spectacle to watch. We've seen the best of the best play for Australia and Ireland, led by Ola Ojwaya and Jasmine Garner for both sides. It was great to watch coming back from the Saints game, and it's just a great concept that they should keep, and apparently they're in talks to keeping and making it a yearly event, at least, I hope. So that'll be good. That's talks about all that. So, it's great to see some of the best Australian players in the AFLW competition, like Ella Roberts, Mim Strom, the best ruck in the competition, Mon Conti, Jazz Garner, Ash Riddell, Ebony Marinoff. I mean, I can go on and on and on, and everything like that. The Ireland team, Blaheem Bogue, Nisa Dooley, Ola Ojwaya, Jennifer Dunn. There's so many talent. Erica O'Shea, Vicky Wall, North Melbourne have a lot of stars, not only Australian players, but Ireland players as well. It was a great spectacle to see, and hopefully they can bring it to Victoria as well. That'd be nice. Now, on the show today, I've got all my players I'm going to watch out for this season. Now, every player that I've got in this category are not the obvious names to some. They may be obvious choices for me, but for others, it's obviously up for debate. But so the players that you see as maybe the best 10 players in the competition or so won't be mentioned in this category, purely because, you expect them names to be big names. And every player I've got on this list, there's a lot of names I've got on this list for each and every club. I've got a representative from at least one player from each club. Some have more than others, that I think you all should look out for this season. My rising star, first time All-Australian, my Brownlow medal prediction, and everything in between all that. We'll start off with this. You want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/CooperG. If you want me to roast a friend, wish someone a happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/CooperG. And if you know any AFLW players and you're watching this and you want to be on the channel in a Gold King Challenge and or interview, please do send me a message, as I mentioned before, and we'll try and get something sorted. All right. We're going to do things a bit differently on this show this year. Going to mix the segments up. So we'll start off with some news. Now, there's obviously a lot of players in situations where it's unfortunate that some players have suffered season-ending injuries. Now, there's some players, there's been a lot of talent coming out of all state league programs or former AFLW players that got other opportunities. Now, I'm going to forget some, but let's just say in my V4W show, I mentioned some of the best V4W prospects, and my Waffle W show, or the best WA draft prospects, well, prospects, sorry, not draft prospects necessarily, but some players that have got second opportunities that are like in their mid-20s or whatever. So congratulations to Matilda Van Berkel, Paige Price, Abby Vaffel, Annie Lee, as of just last night, back to Geelong. Maddie Evans in the Waffle side of things, Tash Entwistle as well in the Waffle. I mean, so many talented players have come out of the State League program for the first time. And a lot of the names that have been picked up are players I've been advocating to be on an AFLW list for years or recent times. And it's great to see some of those players. So Matilda Van Berkel, Paige Price, Dom Carbone as well going to the Pies, players like that. It's great to see. Now Morris Dalton is going to the Blues as well. There's so many names. I'm going to forget some. Brisbane have signed a recent signing as well. Adelaide have done a few as well, with Danielle Ponta announcing her pregnancy recently. So I went on to Danielle for that achievement, which has brought opportunities for Elise from Adelaide in the Sample. I mean, so many players that have got opportunities, but it means that someone's got injured, retired, or whatnot. Now, as of this recording, Essendon haven't announced their replacement, and neither have West Coast. Now, I'm hearing that Isabella Shannon may be the player that gets the Eagles opportunity, who has been on an AFLW list before playing for Perth, the captain in the Waffle W competition, didn't play on the weekend, played in the scratch match for West Coast instead. So that's a sign of things to come potentially. We had a lot of players change clubs in the off-season. Eden Zanker probably headlines that, going from Melbourne to Freo. We had Mia Austin go from Carlton to Melbourne. It's just off the top of my head. I haven't got a list in front of me. I'm just saying first players that come to mind. The draft, so many talented players in this draft crop. Chloe Bowen, Ava Usher, Sunny Lappin, Evie Coucher, Georgia Davies, Alana Welsh. There's so many talented players that are coming through the draft this year. Olivia Woolmore-Irons, the number one draft pick. Scarlett Johnson, albeit unfortunately doing her ACL, which left a spot open for the Giants. She was a top draft prospect as well. Kiara Newbury, Alex Neeland, who unfortunately done her ACL for Sydney. So a lot of this year's top 5 draft prospects got injured, Scarlett Johnson and Alex Neeland in particular. So, you're going to see a lot of talent out in the AFLW competition this year. I recommend you all go to games, watch the sport, enjoy it, support it, and everything like that. I know a lot of players as well, they really appreciate the support. I know some of them personally told me they appreciate my content and covering the league, and not just in this league, but in the V4W, Waffle W, Sample W as well, albeit I may not do necessarily videos for Sample W as often. I still cover it when it comes to players that may be drafted and online video interviews as well and everything like that. So all those players in all those state league comms and the AFLW and the AFL as well do appreciate my content, and I appreciate the support that some players tell me to my face or online. So I really do appreciate that. It means a lot. I would love to have more players on the podcast though, because I haven't had too many on lately. Not that I haven't been trying to get people on, but we'll see how we go. All right, now it's time for that world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Well, I was probably thinking today, what can I rant about? The season hasn't started. We've had match simulation matches and everything like that. And I know I'm not the only one thinking this, but I'm one of only a few to say this out loud. Now, I've been to some AFLW match simulation matches. I went on the weekend to Essendon, Melbourne. It wasn't even on the weekend, it was on Friday. Essendon, Melbourne, Carlton, Geelong. Bulldogs, Collingwood the weekend prior, and everything like that. Some people I know went to St Kilda, North Melbourne, and everything like that. But the one thing I am not happy with the coverage of these games was, number one, we've barely seen any promotion for it. You say people can go, then you don't tell them when it is. So how can they go when they don't know it's on? Or times get changed, quarter lengths get changed, and you give no communication to people. For example, I've had people ring up clubs and ask if it's open to the public, okay? And I've done so myself, asked if it's open to the public. They say no. This particular game was Carlton and Essendon, and it was told it wasn't open to the public. Then you come to see the same day when Carlton put out photos from that match setting that there's people in the crowd in the background. But yet, some people have told me that they were told during the week that it wouldn't be open. Nope, not happening. Then it was open. Communication poor. Carlton Geelong, again on the weekend that I went on the Friday, was advertised for 12:45, started at 12:30. It's just little details. Some clubs advertise 4 quarters, they play 3. Like, the communication has been very poor, very disappointing. And you want to grow the game, and I'm one that's a big advocate for supporting women's footy in the AFLW and the state league competitions as well. And people like myself and others want to go to the games and support the competition because it definitely deserves it to have the support. And you're stopping people from going when you can't do the basic communication. Put a post out. Now, I'm not going to name the club, but there was a particular club where someone told me they had asked, is a particular game open and everything like that. They told them, oh, yeah, it is, but we're not going to post about it because we don't want to, or don't need to. It's like, you want people to go. So this particular game, people were able to go, but that club did not tell people they could go. So you just had to take the gamble and hoped you were allowed to go, because some games you couldn't. Now, I'm going to give Richmond a lot of credit here. Every game that I know that they had, so when they played Freo in Perth, played Hawthorn in Dingley, and they played someone else, they communicated it pretty well, made it clear it was 4 quarters, and they actually posted who was playing in each match simulation game. Can't say that for basically any other club on a consistent basis. Whether it was a one-off game, I think Richmond did it every week. So well done to Richmond for communicating the quarter lengths, where it's been played, the time, and if it was to be altered, they would be communicated. So well done to Richmond on that part. But to every other club that did not do that, and the club in particular that said, oh, well, we're not going to post it because it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. You want people to go, communicate it well. Now, clubs not posting post-game reports. I mean, you're employed to give updates. Your role as a media person, for example, is to provide updates. And when you half-ass it or don't do a report at all, I had plenty of people message me, go, hey, Scoops, you know what happened in this game? I go, if I didn't go to it and it wasn't posted, I wouldn't know. There's at times where I had to ask players how it went because their clubs or opposition club do not post about it. It's like pretty bad. Communicate it. Every club. I shouldn't have to say this, and other people are pissed off, and it's not just me saying it. Other people are pissed off as well. Communicate it. Put the team lineups, who's playing, the quarter length, the time it starts, and do that. Then when the game's done, you should be doing in-game highlights and communication posts as well. Stories, posts, everything. Live streams, which was barely any from any club, which is pretty poor throughout the entire match sim periods. It's not hard to hit up a live stream, get a couple of the media people to do commentate, or players that aren't playing, or media people to do so. Barely an article, barely any information on the articles that did come up. How are we meant to know anything? These clubs need to do better. I cover it better than they do. And I'm one individual. They're an army of people. Do better to those clubs. It's really annoying, and I know I'm not the only one saying it. And clubs failing to provide injury report updates this entire preseason. We've seen a rare post here and there. As of this recording, I've just seen Adelaide post the injury report. Good. I've barely seen, except for the times when someone's getting injury replacement players, barely, besides those articles or posts, we're not seeing basically any updates at all. Now, there's a particular player from a particular club, which I won't name, that got injured 2 or 3 weeks ago. I've seen them at one of the games I've been at, or someone I know went, and they told me that they got injured. So let's say it was 3 weeks ago. That club in particular has not posted a damn thing about that player or any other player on their list up until this point in recording. Pathetic. Provide updates. We shouldn't be chasing updates. You should be giving us updates. They're showing us you don't care about the fans, and that's really disappointing to know. So to those clubs in those scenarios and the people in power that can provide the updates and everything like that, do your role better. You get paid to do all this, so how about you do it? Hope you all enjoyed that edition of the world-famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. It's world-famous for a reason. Now, I'm going to change things up here, and I'm going to preview the round 1 game between St Kilda and Carlton at Marvel Stadium, the historic game at Marvel Stadium. St Kilda, Carlton. Now, we'll see my ladder predictions and everything like that shortly. But what I can say about this game, it's going to be an emotional game and whole day for the Saints and Carlton. You know, the men's game is at night, a lot on the line there, but I'm here to talk about the women's footy. But to have it as a double header and you have it for a Spuds game, it's just going to make it an emotional day and night throughout the whole day. Big game for both clubs in both competitions. Finals on the line, wildcard in the men's. In the women's, the season opener. All the eyeballs will be on this game. 2 clubs that played finals last year. Carlton made a prelim, Saints made the first final and fell short against the Crows. Carlton fell short dramatically against Brisbane in the prelim. Both sides want to go one step better. They want to go one step better. And I'm telling you right now, there's a lot on the line. It's Spud's game. It's at Marvel. All eyes will be on this game. It's going to be massive. I'm going to be tipping my Saints, of course, to win this game by 12 points. I think Carlton will be a very, very good side and a hard side to beat this year. I'm obviously going to tip my side. Round 1, anything can happen. The practice matches, St Kilda weren't great. Carlton were okay. So it could go any which way. But I'm going to have the Saints by 12 points. But yeah, Carlton going to be an exciting side this year. You got Sophie McKay, Poppy Schultz, Abby McKay, Aaron Fitzpatrick, Amelia Villado, Maddie Hendry. So much talent at the Blues. Claudia Whitford's coming in the trade from the Suns. St Kilda, Janome Anderson, Amber Clark, Charlotte Baskaran, T. Smith, Ash Richards, Serene Watson. You know, Abby Hobson, I think, is going to be a really good draft prospect for the Saints to keep forward. You know, Jade McClay, who I think is still injured at the moment. Olivia Vesely. You know, it's going to be a good side for the Saints this year, I feel. They're going to be around the mark for the top 8 this year. You'll see my ladder predictions soon. But yeah, I'm going to tip the Saints by 12 points against the Blues. But hey, let's see what happens there. All right. Now, let's go through my season predictions. Now, there's a lot to cover in here, so bear with me. So I'm going to start with the big one, and I'm going to talk about my ladder prediction for season 2026. So, in first place, this should come to no shock to anyone, North Melbourne. Now, I'm going to detail my reasons soon when I put the graphic on the screen for you all to see. So, in first place, North Melbourne. In second place, I have Brisbane. Last year's grand finalists. Actually, no, I'll explain it now. North Melbourne, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? They've added so much talent to the team, or retained in the team, sorry. They've added some players that can fill some holes, or they don't have any holes, North Melbourne, let's be real, but can add to some positions, like Maddie Torby joining the club as a ruck support for Kim Rennie and Emma King. Really good option there. Shauna McGalliard in the draft, who I've had on here multiple times for a Gold King Challenge, which I've won one of those matches, by the way. So, you know, is what it is there. They've Emma Carney and Kate Shearlaw, who played 2 players that'll be in their last seasons. What superstars they have both been for the Roos, and St Kilda for Shearlaw, and previous clubs that they played at. Emma Carney is a bona fide star. She ain't slowing down at her age. I think she's 36. Sorry, Emma, if I got that wrong. Now, there was a particular player, and I'm going to mention this. There was a particular player in one of the finals. You can make guess of who this was. who this player has barely played a game, and probably 3 or so years into their career, is not a regular in their team. And Emma Carney is about 10 plus years older than this player. And she ran past her. And this player on the field called Emma Carney too old and too slow. Yet this so-called player 10 plus years younger than Emma Carney could not even chase her down. What's to say about them? That just shows how good Emma Carney still and has always been. She deserves more respect. When you got players like that giving her pot shots on the field, which that's not banter, that's not even funny. She couldn't even back it up, this player, and chase Emma Carney down, which I thought was really disrespectful towards Emma Carney. Emma Carney is a multiple-time premiership player, a former captain of the Roos, a bona fide pioneer of women's footy. And that other player, you've got a long way to go to come even close to anything like that. North Melbourne, superstars everywhere. Alice O'Loughlin, Jazz Garner, Ash Riddell, Mia King, Ruby Tripodi, Blaheem Bogue, Erica O'Shea. I can name the whole team. North are superstars. Darren Crocker is the coach, the best coach in women's footy history, alongside Daisy Pearce. Brisbane. Now, in second place, I got Brisbane. Now, I was umming and ahhing. I think Brisbane may drop. Losing Taylor Smith will hurt them. But the problem is, I feel like the other sides below them that I haven't even mentioned yet, maybe the third place side, which I'll get to in a second, but every other club, I feel like they're not going to surpass the Lions still. I don't feel like Brisbane are going to be the powerhouse side, but I don't have faith in some other sides below them to pass them. So I feel like, despite losing Taylor Smith, and I feel like they're not on a decline, but they're in that, I'm not as confident in them. But I'm not as confident as the teams below them to surpass them. So I still have them in this position, which is a credit to the Lions. They're just a superstar side, led by Craig Sarsbridge, the coach. You know, Belle Dawes, Lily Postlethwaite, Jade Ellinger, Courtney Hodder, Charlie Mullins, Ola O'Dwyer, Nat Grider. You know, superstars everywhere for the Brisbane Lions. Talia Hickey in the ruck. It's a well-established side, the Lions. I know there's some names I've forgotten. Ali Anderson. I have my top 50 players. Ali Anderson was in that group of players because they absolutely deserve that. I've done that. That's on my social media channels if you want to check that out, my top 50 players for this season as well. But I'm going through my ladder predictions. In third place, I've got Melbourne. Melbourne, you know, added Mia Austin, lost Eden Zanker. Mia plays Eden Zanker's role. Obviously, Zanker's a well-established player, but Mia's a future star of this competition. You know, you still got Kate Hoare. You got so many superstars at the Melbourne Football Club still. Tyler Hanks, Liv Purcell's coming back from an ACL. Shelley Heath's in good form. Eliza McNamara is still one of the most underrated players in the competition today, and deserves a lot more recognition than she gets. So they're still going to be a good side. In fourth place, now this might surprise some to a degree, but not really. In fourth place, this will be very happy for some particular fans that support the channel. In fourth place, I got Carlton. Yes, the Blues. The women's side are a very, very good side. As I mentioned before, Abby and Sophie McKay, Amelia Velado, Mimi Hill, Lily Goss, Aaron Fitzpatrick. They got stars everywhere. The Carlton Football Club. Claudia Whifford's joined the club as well. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year, the Carlton AFLW side in 2026. In fifth place, I got the Crows. A lot of injuries. Chelsea Randall's retired. Danielle Ponta is pregnant. I feel like Adelaide are a side there, still being the mark, like Brisbane, purely for the fact that teams below them, I don't think are at their level yet. So I still think there'll be a dominant side. They could easily make top four still. I got them in fifth place at the moment. In sixth place, I got the West Coast Eagles. They made their finals appearance last year against Carlton. They won't be happy. I know Daisy Pearce will be wanting to rectify that loss and start this season with a bang. And I think West Coast will still be a good side this year. They'll have a harder fixture this year, though, but I still have faith in the Eagles to get there. I mean, when you got Ella Roberts, Charlie Thomas, Lucia Painter, Bella Lewis, Charlie Thomas, Painter. I think the addition of some of their draftees like Mia Russo will be really good. Kelly Skepper has come from Carlton. Georgie Cleaver, Tash Entwistle, who they've picked up through the draft. I think she'll be one that could be a regular that becomes a good, consistent play for them. She's shown that at Waffle W level for years. Hopefully she can transition that to AFLW level as well. So I've got a lot of faith in the Eagles girls, and I think they'll go another step further in playing finals and may win a final as well. In 7th place, I've got their arch rivals, their WA counterpart, the Dockers, Freo. You know, adding Eden Zanka, who's got a foot concern at the moment, so hasn't played any practice matches, which is a concern for Freo. But long season-wise, I've got, you know, adding Zanka. Ashley McCarthy is still one of the most underrated players in the competition today. One of the best Irish players out of Ireland playing in the AFLW right now, along with all Orange Wire, those two. Dana Finn as well for Carlton. But, yeah, it's just great to see Freo, you know, they haven't really lost much. They got a lot of, I know Freo are really pumped with the draftees they got. That could add something to their side. You know, when you got Mim Strom, the best ruck in the competition on your side, Indy Strom, who's taken the world by storm in her first year last year, beating likes of Jesse Wardlaw, and some of the major key forwards in the competition. She's just done really well for herself. I think Freo will be 7th. 8th place, I got the Swans. I don't know where to put the Swans. From 8th to 12th, I don't know where to put, or 8 to 11, I don't know where to put those 4 sides. And in 8th place, I got the Swans. You know, Chloe Malloy's back. Ali Morfitt needs to get back to her best from an injury-interrupted season last year. I mean, I could see the Swans going as high as 6th, or even 5th. I got them in 8th, but I could see them going as low as 11th. So they're a side I don't know where to grade them. You know, Sophia Hurley, Montana Ham are some of the best players in their side. Laura Gardner as well. I think they've got enough talent on the list to make finals. So I got the Swans in 8th place. So which means 2 sides have fallen out for a few sides to come in, that being Sydney and Freo. So in 9th place, I got Hawthorn. I think Hawthorn will be one of the biggest sliders in the competition this year. Hawthorn went out in straight sets 2 years in a row. I don't feel like they've really shown and proven they're a good side still. I mean, they've been up on bottom sides last year. They're going to get a much harder fixture this year. I know they've added Jack Toupé, who I really like from the Suns. I think should be a great addition for Anya Madonna. They needed that support. They got that support, something I wish St Kilda would have done, and actually got some support for Jesse Wardlaw that would do well. You know, I like some of their players, though. They got Jazz Fleming, Anya Madonna, Jenna Richardson. But I like some of their players that picked up post-draft. I'll say pre-draft. Post-draft, they drafted Michaela Antoine from the Stanford W, a 20-year-old who will be a really good winger, could play half-back, half-forward as well. Now, Matilda Van Berkel, she's the player I've been singing the praises of for 2 years on my V4W shows. Now, she's injured at the moment, so I don't know what the injury status is there because clubs don't provide injury updates. She could be one of the biggest surprises. If she can get on the park and play every week, she'll slot into that Hawthorn backline. They lost Emily Everest, which is not good for her or the team. But Matilda Van Berkel would be their best defender alongside Richo if she plays. That's how much faith I got in Matilda Van Berkel. I've seen her play VFW for years. I've seen the work she's put in and deserves this opportunity. She's the general of their backline in the VFW. I know it's a big step up, different level and everything. But trust me, Matilda Van Berkel, she stays injury-free and gets to play regular AFLW footy, she'll fit in like she's been there for years. So, yeah. But in saying all that, the side itself, Hawthorn, I don't trust them. I think they're going to fall off, and I've got them in 9th. In 10th place, I got my Saints. Gee, no one can say it's biased. Now, I could also see the Saints finishing anywhere between 6 and 11, but I have them in 10th. I've been saying Jesse Wardlaw needs the support. And I feel like we have not addressed that at all. And that's really disappointing because we've got the back line set up with Serene Watson, Bianca Jacobson, Paige Trudgeon, the Trudge, who hasn't played any practice matches. So hopefully she's playing. Got Berkey, Alice Burke, who's doing really well in the back line. You got the mid-forward duos, the smaller type players, and the midfielders. I think Abby Hobson will be a good draft player to support Jesse Wardlaw, but we need that experienced player to support Jesse Wardlaw. Mia Austin was right there, and we didn't try and get her at the Saints. Would have been a great addition. Would have allowed Wardlaw to go up the ground a little bit more as well, which she's shown how talented Jesse Wardlaw is. And that's why I have her as the highest rated key forward in the competition in my top 50. You can check that out if you want as well. So, you know, needed that support. We did not address that. The rucks is a big issue as well, and we have not addressed that either. So I feel like we may fall a little bit. If we do make it, I won't be shocked, but it'll be off the back of Jesse Wardlaw, Paige Trudgeon, T. Smith in the midfield, who's one of the most underrated players in the competition, Ash Richards, Amber Clark, Naomi Anderson, Charlotte Baskerville. So we've got the team there. We've got the talent there. We just need key position players. And that's a problem in the Saints men's side as well, which is starting to piss me off as well. So that's probably what's not going to help us this year. I can see us making finals. It wouldn't shock me at all. I hope it happens clearly. It could happen, but if to put a prediction, I have us in 10th. In 11th place, I've got Geelong. Geelong are one of the biggest unknown sides in the competition. Their draft was very, very good, adding Evie Coucher, Priya Bowering, and Renee Morgan, just to name a few. Really, really impressive. Added Stevens from St Kilda, can play halfback. Alyssa Brooke in the trade. Jasmine Stewart, who can play mid forward from Port Adelaide as well. Same with Brooke, who's injured till round 5. So they could do really well. Georgie Prasparkas, Nina Morrison, Becky Webster, new captain. Well done, Becky. Well deserved with Morrison. So they've done really well, right? So I could see them going anywhere, but they were a huge disappointment last year. New coach, Mick Stanier, has joined the club. He's the Melbourne coach. The longest-serving coach in AFLW history is Mick. He's a great coach, great guy. He'll do great work for Geelong. I really like the appointment of him as coach. But I don't know where to put them. They could easily finish 6th. They could look like a fall, but they could easily fall 11th. So I've got them there at the moment. I do like what they've added, though. Georgie Prasparkas is one of the best players in the competition, period. Amy McDonald's a good midfielder as well. Sienna Talaridi, who can play off the halfback line as well. So, and I've seen Geelong play 2 practice matches now. I haven't been convinced. They got smashed by the Bulldogs and could have lost by like 50, 60 points if the Bulldogs kicked accurately. And the Carlton game, they were less than convincing. So I don't know where to put them. I don't know how much pre-season form you take into it. There was a lot of players out in the second game for Geelong. Georgie Prasparkas played forward line in the first game against the Bulldogs. And then didn't play on the weekend because she was in the Ireland game and she deserved that opportunity, did Georgie. But yeah, I don't know where to put Geelong. I really don't. So I got them in 11th, but they could go as easy as 6. 12th place, I got Collingwood. So I've got this pack where from Collingwood down, I don't feel like any of those sides will be playing finals footy in 2026. So Collingwood in 12th, I feel like they're equal with the next side as the best of the next group. I mean, I know Collingwood have probably talked. I've seen some comments they've made saying things like, it's more of a development year and everything like that. I mean, I tend to agree with that a little bit, but then I'm like, I could see Collingwood kind of rise up the ladder better than they think. Mattia Breed, last year I predicted to be the best recruit. Now, she didn't get to play, so she'll be up there as one of the best recruits because she hasn't played yet. Mattia Breed, mark my words, she was in my top 50 players for a reason. Now, a lot of people laughed in my men's one when I said Max Hall, and he's having an all-Australian caliber year and one of the most improved players this year. I'm going to put Mattia Breed in that top 50 category. Well, I already did in my top 50 players. She was in the 40s. Mattia Breed, I'm telling you right now, will have a great year. Now, she played forward line in Perth a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to play the midfield, though, Sam. That's her best position. Play your best players in their best positions. That's probably why she left Hawthorn, because Hawthorn didn't use it to the best of her ability. Come on, Sam. Play her in the midfield, and she'll show you why that Hawthorn made a big mistake and why you've got one of the best recruits in the last few years. You got Ash Centro, the best young player in the competition in the last few years, along with Ella Roberts. So, Ash Centro's a star, a bona fide star. Wouldn't shock me if she's in All-Australian this year, Ash Centro. She's that good already. Injury interrupted season. The Pies will be good. Bree Davies back. Britt Bonici's there in the midfield as well, which some journos called her a bench warmer, which I think is entirely disrespectful. Britt Bonici's a starting midfielder. For the journos that said that, that's pretty disrespectful for last year's best and fairest winner. Now, they got Lucy Cronin, who I think is one of the best young key defenders in the competition. She almost won the Pies B&F last year, which just shows the credit of how good Lucy Cronin truly is. We got Bonici and co in that club already. Geordie Allen, they've got the pieces there. Their problem is similar to St Kilda's. Their key position players in the forward half and ruck is their big problem. And I think that's what's going to hold them back and a bit of inexperience and everything like that. So I have the Pies in 12th place. In 13th position, I got Port Adelaide. I don't know with Port Adelaide. I really don't. You know, again, on paper, they look good in their midfield. Piper Window, Sinead Goody, Abby Dowrick, Matilda Schultz is a good ruck. We've got Gemma Houghton up forward, who's a star and one of the best players ever. Is a key forward in AFLW history, the first ever AFLW player to reach 100 goals, and Gemma's a star and a pioneer of women's footy as well. They had Indy Tahu, won the Coleman last year. You know, they got Sachi Simon, Emily Borg, and Ella Bogue and Ella Heads. But I just don't know with Port Adelaide. A new coach in Glenn Strawn as well. I don't know where to put Port. I don't think they play finals, but they could be just outside of finals. They could be around 13th or so. And that's why I've got them in 13th. In 14th, I got Richmond. Now, I thought Richmond, when they lost to Ailey Sheeran, I thought, you know, she's a massive loss. But I think they'll still be around that finals mark. They were terrible last year. They got a new coach as well. The coach needed to go, and they made the right move there. It just a lot of chemistry with players, and that wasn't seeming great there. The move they made for coach, I thought they would have gone experienced, but they didn't. They didn't go for Scott Gowans or someone like that. I don't know why they did what they did. There was other options I felt like they could have done, but they did what they did. Mon Conti is still one of the best players in the competition. One of the Scoops medal winners in the past. Mon's a superstar. Ali McKenzie, a co-captain with Gabby Seymour, so one to both those women for being co-captains. Ali McKenzie will miss the first few rounds with a hand injury. Again, Richmond providing updates. Well done, Richmond, for that. Give you all the credit in the world for that. Dana East joined the club. Georgia Stubbs has joined the club. I think Izzy Bacon will be a good player again this year. So, but I don't know where they're going to be. Then they're light on in a lot of areas in the ruck as well. Key position plays in the back half. So I don't know Richmond. I mean 14th, but I could easily see them at like 8th. And I'm telling you now, it would not shock me. So I didn't know where to put them. So I got them 14th. 15th, these bottom four sides, I think I'm confident will be the bottom four sides. They'll have no bearings on the top 8 at all. In 15th place, I got Essendon. I mean, Essendon, you got Bonnie Toogood. You got Zoe Pressman, the Crows, a key defender that will help that position. Steph Wales in the ruck. But I don't see much that screams finals bound side with Essendon. They got some solid players around the board, but I don't think, you know, I don't know what's going to happen there. So I got them in 15th. I don't think they're going to be a side that will do any damage at all whatsoever. Likewise for the Western Bulldogs in 16th place. You know, a lot of people pump them up. Their fan base carry on about how good they think they are, and they were robbed of a finals opportunity. No, you robbed yourself by just being a mediocre team. And they'll continue to be a mediocre side. They, you know, Tam's a good coach and everything, but the playing list is just not there. They've got some good players, you know, like Izzy Pritchard, but I think Jess Fitzgerald's a solid midfielder as well, and Sarah Pousey I think is a good draft player. Emma McDonald had a good practice matches as well, and Elaine Grigg as well, but I don't see it. I don't see what other people see. I just think they're just biased Western Bulldog supporters that think they're better than they are. Like, you look at them compared to the other clubs that I've just mentioned above them, and I don't see them better than any of them. So therefore, they're in 16th place. And with the next side and the last side, they're probably better than them, but maybe. But that's not saying much. 17th place, I got the Gold Coast Suns. I think Gold Coast have a lot of superstar young stars that will shape their club for years to come. Not now. Gold Coast are going to be at the bottom of the ladder with GWS, who is in 18th place. I see both expansion sides doing absolutely no damage at all. Gold Coast, they've drafted awesome, but it helps when you got academy handouts. Now, Ava Usher, I want people to lower their expectations. Ava has not played football until 2 weeks ago for 2+ years, back-to-back ACLs, through all the injury heartbreak. That's why I don't have her in consideration for my rising star. She is an absolute star and will be for years to come. But I think she's going to take her time and ease into it like Loz Young has done. Is now 2 years later, finally being able to get consistent amount of footy, string some good games together is Loz Young. But yeah, Ava, I think will take some time to get into it, but she's going to be a superstar. Georgia Davies already killing in the practice matches. Doesn't shock me. Sunny Lappin the same. they're going to be stars. Alana Welsh, Dakota Barron, Charlie Rowbottom, who's one of the best young midfielders in the competition today. Anne Hatchard's adding some experience. Lily Mithen's there as well. Lucy Single, co-captain, as well as the star. Neve McLaughlin playing in the back line probably as well. But everywhere else, they seem to struggle in. Their ruck situation is a Darcy Davies, Havana Harris. Oh, how can I forget Hav? Havana Harris, I'm telling you right now, if Havana Harris was at a Victorian club, she'll be talked about as the next big thing. Havana Harris is a bona fide star. She is going to light the competition. She's going to put the competition on notice. In her first season, if you look at her stats, she was playing mainly as a key forward. She can play as a ruck, can play as a midfielder. She can play that Luke Jackson type role. I think Havana Harris is the future of the AFLW competition. In saying all this, they're going to be a dangerous, scary opposition in years to come, but not in 2026. They may take a scalp along the way like the Bulldogs, the Giants, those type of sides, Essendon, maybe a Collingwood or a Adelaide or a Richmond or someone like that. They may take one of those middle tier sides like Geelong, St Kilda, Hawthorn, whatever. But not this year. 2026 is not the Suns' year. In last place, GWS. GWS have baffled me with their selection in the draft, in the trade periods. They brought in Tilly Lucas-Rod, and they will be a good selection for them. But they are playing her in the forward line in the practice matches. Now, Hawthorn did this with Tilly Lucas-Rod last year and ended up playing back line and had a good season there. GWS need Tilly in the back line. They recruited poorly. They've got a lot of holes. Now, Zali Goldsworthy, one of the best young players in the competition, is out for 6 weeks as of a few weeks ago. So she's going to miss like the first 3 to 4 rounds. So Zali is their best player. Zali is one of the best players in the competition, period. She's not only a rising star, she's the rising star when she won that award in 2024. Tani Evans, I think, is a good player. I think Caitlin Surhoy is severely underrated, and she's a really good player as well. But GWS, they didn't address any needs at all. They need support all over the board. Cam got a contract extension, which I don't know why they rushed that. I mean, you haven't seen the change of the Giants yet in the women's competition. They need the women's side. Hope I'm proven wrong. Love to see the Giants do well. I'm a big fan of Giants as a whole, but I just being real, and that's where I think they'll finish in 2026 in 18th place. So there's the ladder for you all to see right here, right now. So there you go. So in first place, North Melbourne, second Brisbane, third Melbourne, fourth Carlton, fifth Adelaide, sixth West Coast, seventh Freo, eighth Sydney, ninth Hawthorn, 10th the Saints, 11th Geelong, 12th Collingwood, 13th Port Adelaide, 14th Richmond, 15th Essendon, 16th the Western Bulldogs, 17th Gold Coast, and 18th GWS. So comment down below your thoughts of my ladder predictions. So that's what I have for you all right now. So now let's go through all my other awards and plays to watch out for at each club. So let's do that. So I want to do the players to watch out for each club in 2026. For the Crows, players to watch out for. So we put the banner up. So as I said, so these are the players to watch out for in 2026. It's so as I said, there's an uneven amount of players here. So all right, let's go. All right, so AFLW players to watch for in 2026. Oh, I stuffed that banner up now, didn't I? Oh, boy. So I know the comment section will say you grammatically wrote that wrong, so I have now fixed it. So, right, some players at the Crows to watch out for in 2026. Chloe Bowen, Sarah Goodwin, and Tia Charlton. I mean, Chloe Bowen's a top draft prospect, so that speaks for itself. But Tia Charlton and Sarah Goodwin are two players that I feel like Sarah's kind of started to get it, but Tia Charlton is going under the radar. They're players that you should be looking out for from the Crows in 2026. Brisbane, Ola Ojwai, Nisa Dooley, and Charlie Mullins. I mean, Ola Ojwai is probably the best Irish player in the competition. A great winger, can kick a goal, very good kick. That's why she was the captain of the Irish side in the Ireland-Australia game, because she's a bona fide star and needs a lot more recognition. Charlie Mullins had a breakout year last year, needs to do the same. Players that you need to look out for some more. Carlton, Aaron Fitzpatrick, Amelia Velado, and Lily Goss. Lily Goss is going under the radar. She just plays her role each and every week. You know, she hasn't got the big name value like an Abby McKay or Mimi Hill or all those types. But she is putting together a great season last year, and I've noticed that. And she played all right on the weekend in the practice match. So the Goss, Lily Goss, is one to watch out for. Amelia Velado, I know I have this catchphrase in my vlogs, the Velado pocket, the Scoops pocket, which is the same spot at Icon Park, and Velado always kicks there. Only one time since 2023 when Amelia Velado's had a kick out when I'm there, it's only once ever gone to the other pocket. So that's where the gimmick happened, okay? But she's been a really reliable defender. Her and Maddie Hendry and co were just so good for them. So good. They're players to watch out for. She's just so reliable, rarely gets beaten. And Aaron Fitzpatrick is one of the most underrated players in the competition, period. I had her in my top 30 players for a reason. She's very, very good. Sorry, my top 50 players. She's very, very good. Very underrated and deserves a lot more praise than what she gets. Collingwood, I've got Lucy Cronin, Mattia Breed, and Imi Trengove. Now, I'm mentioning Imi Trengove here because I don't have her in my Rising Star prediction, but she'll be a good draft player from SA, a midfielder. They're playing her a bit forward mid, so that's why I don't think she'll win the Rising Star if she's playing that role, but she's a very good player. I would love to be proven wrong. She's a very good player, and hopefully she can win it, but I don't have others ahead. Mattia Breed, very, very good. The best recruit last year, and mark my words, should be one of the recruits of the season. So, yeah. Lucy Cronin, awesome player. Very reliable defender, as I mentioned before, so I'm not going to repeat it again, but she's a star. Essendon, I've got Chloe Adams and Grace Bologna. Chloe Adams plays as a back pocket player, a winger, a midfielder, up forward as well. So Chloe can play everywhere, and versatility is very important these days. Very reliable player, consistent performer, playing regularly for the Bombers. And Grace Bologna, it's called. She did it pretty well. Got a nice goal. So, yeah, she's one to watch out for this year as well. She's just got the X Factor player written all over Grace Bologna. So wait and see what happens there. Freo, Indy Strom, and Aisling McCarthy. Indy Strom in her first year was awesome, quelling the influence of a lot of her key forward opposition. Aisling McCarthy, one of the most underrated Irish players and players in the competition, period. Geelong, Evie Coucher, one to watch. No one's talking about her in the Rising Star calculations, but I am. One of the best players the last few years in the draft crop, period. If it wasn't for a stress fracture in her back or something last season, she'd be severely talked about. I don't know if it was a stress fracture, but she had a back injury or something and didn't play in the state champs, but she didn't need to because she's so good before then, and anyone that covers the draft would have known that. She's going to be a star for Geelong, one to watch out for sure. Gold Coast, Havana Harris, Georgia Davies, Ava Asher, Sunny Lappin, mentioned them all before. They're all the future of the Suns and the future of the AFLW competition. Havana Harris in particular, if you didn't pump her up last year, you're going to do it now. She's a star. GWS, I've gone Caitlin Surhoy. Very underrated season last year. All-Australian contention this year. She's one I'm saying is a genuine shout for All-Australian this year. That's how good Caitlin Surhoy was last season. Hawthorn, I've gone Michaela Antony and Matilda Van Berkel. I mentioned them before, so I won't mention and detail it again. But their players coming out of the state league competitions, a lot of faith in to do well. Melbourne, Mia Austin and Sarah Lampard. Mia was underutilised at Carlton. She's going to be a star at Melbourne. Eden Zank is a big loss, but that loss won't be as impactful as they may think because Mia will fulfill that role and do a damn good job at it. Sarah Lampard, a defender, a regular for their side for years upon years. Lampy is a very underrated player in the back half. Played midfield a little bit as well over her time, and I think she's just one you got to watch out for. I think she's a very good player. North Melbourne, they've got stars everywhere. I've gone Mia King and Alice O'Loughlin. Mia King had the heartbreak of not playing in last year's grand final. Did the year prior, so that's good that she had at least that premiership. Be a chance again this year, clearly, if North Melbourne make it. Me is an underrated midfielder who was probably averaging 24 disposals or so before her injury, just flying under the radar. Everyone talks about Jazz Garner and Ash Riddell, and fair enough too. But Mia was doing awesome. And she's one that needs to be talked about a lot more. Likewise, Alice O'Loughlin. I don't understand how she's not talked about in the conversations for All-Australian each and every year. She got All-Australian in 2024. She's a star. Only like 23 years of age, Alice, and she's really one of the best forwards in the competition, period. Not just key forwards. Well, she's not a key forward. She's a medium-sized forward, small forward. She's a star. I mean, she had a really serious punctured lung, I think it was last year, which hampered her season mid-season, missed like 4 games. Alice is a star. She's a game changer. If you remember that grand final, she had 3 goals in the first quarter to start that grand final, which they won. I think it was the 2024 one. It was over in the first quarter, and Alice O'Loughlin was the reason. I remember in that video, Croc started her on the bench and kicked 3 goals still in that quarter. Just shows how good Alice O'Loughlin is, and she does not get the recognition she absolutely deserves, and I will highlight her here. She was on that poster, if you didn't know, for the ladder as well, along with Ella Roberts. Adelaide, Ella Heads. Very good play from the Swans they got last year. Had a interesting season playing wing, half back. I think she's best suited playing the backline role. Ella Heads just does that very well. And I think that's a player that needs a lot more recognition. Richmond, I've gone Izzy Bacon. Player that just flies under the radar, just does her bit each and every week last year. I saw the improvement in particular last year from Izzy Bacon. Going into her 3rd season now. I think she'll be a really good player for Richmond and a player to watch out for in 2026. Can play a multitude of roles, playing half-back, half-forward, wing type role. For the Saints, have gone Ash Richards, Amber Clark, T. Smith, and Janome Anderson. Players that I feel like play that mid-forward role really well. Janome and Amber Clark and Ash Richards have all played that role. T. Smith, a bona fide star in the midfield, needs a lot more recognition than what she gets. All game changers in my opinion. The speed of Anderson and Clark, Richo, the smarts, T. Smith, the pressure, the tackling, the player that just does it all, puts her heart on her sleeve type. You got Richo, who's a goal kicker. Amber Clark can kick goals. Anderson the same, and T. Smith's a bona fide star midfielder, a clearance machine, a tackling machine, and a reliable midfielder that you can always bank on 20 disposals each week and about 5 tackles per game. For the Swans, I've gone Sophia Hurley, Montana Ham, and Imogen Brown. Now, Imogen Brown has not played a game of AFLW footy yet. Had a lot of injuries recently. Got back in one of the practice matches and just really stood out for me in that game. When Sydney put some highlights up, she was featured in it a lot, and I thought she did really well in that contest. Player that could play a wing, half back, half forward. It'll be interesting to see where Imogen plays in 2026. Sophia Hurley, one of the best wingers in the competition, severely underrated. Now, at Melbourne, I should have mentioned Eliza McNamara, but she's a bona fide star and may be featuring shortly. There's a tease right there. Sophia Hurley, one of the best wingers in the competition. She's so good and doesn't get talked about at all and absolutely deserves that recognition. Montana Ham, I mean, we talk about Zali Goldsworthy's, the Ash Centras, those mid-forward star power mid-forwards that can change a game. Zali and Ash do that, and so does Montana Ham, a bona fide star. Eagles, Lucia Painter, Mia Russo, Jade Britton, and Tash Entwistle. Now, I thought Tash Entwistle for years deserved that draft opportunity. She's got it. Being a regular and a good performer, apparently, in the West Coast match sim games, and she did against the Pies as well. So, Jade Britton on the wing, a really reliable winger, just does her part every week. A good runner, good decision maker, and gets tackles as well. Mia Russo, one of the best midfielders in this year's draft from WA. One that's not really getting talked about at all in the Rising Star talk and didn't get a vote from any of the captains, which I think is disappointing. And not one elite voted for her. She's a star. She will be, mark my words. Lucia Painter, one of the best draft players from last year's draft crop. She's a bona fide star, Lucia Painter. And if she was at a Victorian club, she'd be talked about like the top echelon of draft players from last year from Victorian clubs that talked about. They all deserve it. So does Lucia Painter. For the Bulldogs, Michaela Can. What can she do for the Bulldogs in 2026? Time will tell. She's a reliable winger, midfielder at the Pies, and she should be a good acquisition for the Bulldogs as well. So that's all the players to watch out for in 2026. Now, let's go through my other predictions. Right, so this should come to no surprise to anyone, but my breakout star for 2026 will be Havana Harris. I just detailed her at length as to why Havana Harris is a bona fide star. She will be the breakout star. It would not even shock me if Havana Harris is an All-Australian player at the end of 2026. She's a bona fide star. Now, speaking of stars, my rising star in 2026, not one captain even mentioned her, and I can't believe they haven't. She played 8 games last year, so you have to play under 10 to be eligible and under the age of 21 to be eligible. And my rising star in 2026 is the bona fide star and the future of the AFLW competition, Ash Centra from the Pies. How no one has picked her for this award baffles me. Ash is a bona fide star, a superstar already. Injury interrupted preseason last year. This year, a little bit as well. She's a star. How no one has it for the rising star contention is confusing. Played 8 games last year, so she's eligible to play for this award, rising star. And I think she'll get it. Now, Sonny Lappin and Evie Coucher and Georgia Davies were considered for me, but when Ash Centra is available to win this award, Ash Centra will win the rising star in 2026 for me. That's my prediction. Now, my most improved players in 2026 is Eliza McNamara and Alice O'Loughlin. Eliza McNamara is the best winger in the competition. One of the most underrated players in the competition today. Does not get talked about at all. A midfielder who's had a lot to get to the position where she's in her career. Last 2 years, she stood out to show why she's a star. There was a V4W game a year or so ago where she had like 38 touches and took the piss 2 weeks in a row. And I'm like, hold up a minute. I watched the game, and it wasn't just because at that level, I know it's a different level and she's too good for that level, and clearly she was. She's one of the best AFLW wingers in the competition, period. She just dominated. And I'm like, it's not just the disposals and that. It's the way she's doing it, how clean she was, how smart, what a great kick at the ball she is, and everything like that. She just dominates. And she's shown that at AFLW level last year. No one's talking about her. In my top 50 players also for a reason. And that's why she's going to get mentioned. Alice O'Loughlin, again, I mentioned before, the best forward in the competition, period. I rate Alice O'Loughlin very highly to the point where she was in my top 16 players in the competition this year. She's a star. Game changer. Can do it all. Kick goals, great goal celebrations, and everything like that. Alice O'Loughlin is a bona fide star already at just 23. Now, the next award to go through will be, Coleman Medal. Now, people will say Indy Tahu, I'll go no. People will say Chloe Malloy, no. Taylor Smith, no. Gemma Houghton, maybe, but that's not who I'm picking. Talia Randall, nope. I'm going Jessie Wardlaw from the Saints. Jessie Wardlaw is a bona fide star. She's going to kick a lot of goals to St Kilda, especially if she's staying in the forward line. So I've got Jessie winning the Coleman. Now, looking at which other one I'll go through now. Now, my first-time All-Australians. I've got 2 players. We got Jazz Ferguson, so Fergo, from the Saints. From the Roos, a premiership star, and a young star key defender, Lucy Cronin, from the Pies. So Fergo from the Roos, Cronin from the Pies. I cannot believe Jazz Ferguson has not been an All-Australian player before. Well, 2026 is Jazz Ferguson and Lucy Cronin's years. They're just stars already. Well, Cronin has shown she's one of the best young key defenders in the competition, and Jazz Ferguson is a really reliable key defender. She's not a disposal player, but that's not her role. It's to stop the influence of her key forward kicking goals, and Fergo does that really well. So Jazz and Lucy, for me, first-time All-Australians in 2026. Now, my bold call for 2026 is this. Now, I thought of all these equations and everything like that. Who could I put in this category? And I just really rate this player. I think they're so damn good. They love a goal celebration, as do I. They provide the entertainment, the spark, the big change for Carlton in 2025 was this player. And my bold call in 2026 is that Sophie McKay will finish in the top 5 in the Coleman medal. Sophie McKay to be top 5 in the Coleman medal race in 2026. Kicked 18 goals last year in 13 games, including those finals. I think the winner, Tahu, had like 24 or something. So I think Soph can replicate that again this year. So that's my bold call. Sophie McKay, top 5 in the Coleman medal race. Now, my league best and fairest winner is my number 1 ranked player in my Scoops top 50 players, the absolute bona fide star and the future of the AFLW competition, none other than Ella Roberts from the Eagles. Superstar. Ella Roberts is a bona fide star. Can play forward, can play midfield, can probably play in the ruck and play down the back line if she had to. She can do it all. If Ella Roberts was at a Victorian-based club, she would be talked about as the best player in the competition. No doubt about it. But I watch all the games. I don't just sit with my Victorian hat on and say, yep, it's just only Victorian players. Ella Roberts is the best player in the competition. There's no way you can dispute that. At 21 years of age, she's already got the accolades. She's an inaugural, not an inaugural. She's an All-Australian. She's a multiple-time best and fairest winner at just 21. She's the most exciting player in the AFLW competition, said by plenty now, which is great to see. And Ella deserves this recognition. I know she's very humble, but she's the best player in the competition. And she will win the league best and fairest winner. She'll be the winner this year in 2026. So that's all my awards that I've got for you all this evening, the ladder prediction and everything like that. I can't wait for the AFLW season to start on Sunday night at Marvel Stadium between the Saints and Carlton. I thought I would show you all my Scoops 2026 AFLW top 50 players. Now, number 1, Ella Roberts. Number 2, Jez Garner. 3, Mim Strom. 4, Mon Conti. 5, Ebony Marinoff. 6, Ash Riddell. 7, Zali Goldsworthy. 8, Charlie Thomas. 9, Kate Hoare. 10, Georgie Prasparkas. I think that's in an elite top 10. I know it's hard to dispute. You can't dispute it because they're the top 10. Maybe you could fit Charlie Rowbottom in, but that's about it. Number 11, Charlie Rowbottom. Number 12, Montana Ham. Number 13, Bonnie Too Good. Number 14, Ali Anderson. Number 15, Ash Centra. Number 16, Alice O'Loughlin. 17, Laura Garner. 18, Ashleen McCarthy. 19, Tyler Hanks. 20, Belle Dawes. 21, Eliza McNamara. 22, Ola O'Dwyer. 23, Jessie Warlord. 24, Gemma Houghton. 25, Serene Watson. 26, Sophie McKay. 27, Havana Harris. 28, Matilda Schultz. 29, Georgia Nanscorn, a very underrated player for Essendon, which I should have mentioned before. Number 30, Anya Madonna. 31, Maeve Chaplin, who I didn't mention before as well. 32, Gabby Newton. 33, Georgia Patrikios, very underrated player at the Saints. 34, Eliza West, another one at Hawthorn. Jenna Richardson, 35. Chaz Fleming, 36. 37, Ash Woodland. 38, Lucia Painter. 39, Lucy Cronin. Number 40, Ash Richards. Number 41, Erica O'Shea. 42, Mia King. 43, Sophie Conway. 44, T. Smith. 45, Jade Allinger, very good player at Brisbane. 46, Mia Austin. Number 47, the recruit of the year from last year, Mattia Breed. 48, Dana Finn. 49, Aaron Fitzpatrick. And number 50, Blaheem Bogue, who is a shout for the All-Australian this year as well again. And for the Coleman medal race as well. Welcome to the 2026 AFLW season. Let's go. And subscribe.